Have you ever had the opportunity to do something or say something and then you hesitated and then later you kicked yourself going, God, I should have said something. I should have done something. I should have spoken up. Or maybe you've had one of those opportunities to speak in front of a group, and while you're up speaking or just before, you start to feel those butterflies in your stomach or the sweaty palms or the shaky hands. Those are all symptoms of nervousness, and they keep us from tapping into that untapped potential in the area of capitalizing on those opportunities. A few things that we know about people who communicate well, people who speak well, is that the people who speak well, they tend to be more highly respected by their peers. They tend to be promoted faster and more often than people who don't communicate as well. They tend to make more money. In fact, these surveys show that people who communicate effectively, people who can stand up and say what they want to say the way that they want to say it, tend to make an average of about $35,000 more per year than people who communicate poorly or don't communicate as well anyway. I'll give you an example of how this works in real life. Let's say, for instance, you're going in for surgery, just a minor surgery, like any surgery is minor, I guess, but let's say you're going in for minor surgery and you go to meet the surgeon for the first time, and the surgeon walks into the room, shakes your hand, and when you shake his hand, he's got kind of a clammy feeling to his palms, you know, like he's got the sweaty palms, and he looks you in the eye, and as you're looking at him, you see his hands kind of shaking as he speaks. He says, hey, guess what, we're going to take out your appendix, you know. Well, what's going to happen is we're going to form a perception. You're going to form a perception of how confident that person is based on how confident he is just presented to you, even if it's just in a one-on-one situation. That's the kind of opportunity that we're talking about. People who communicate well tend to, or people who show confidence anyway, when they communicate well, tend to show the people around them that they are competent at doing what they're doing. And what that means is that if we don't communicate as effectively, then maybe we're not creating that type of impression. But what we do in the Fearless Presentations class is we help people communicate more effectively and give them the appearance of being even more confident by giving some quick tips, some processes, basically uncovering some public speaking secrets that it's taken our instructors decades to unravel, to uncover. You get to do it in about 2 days or so, though. The Fearless Presentations class starts out by covering 10 quick tips, 10 quick things that you can do to reduce your nervousness, to help you become a more confident speaker. And I'll give you an example of one of these that will help right away. The fastest, easiest way that you can reduce your nervousness like that is to get away from your notes. This goes against conventional wisdom. Most people think if I have notes in front of me, like if I have a piece of paper or if I have a slideshow with lots of bullet points on it or something like that, that I'm actually going to communicate better and I'm going to feel more confident. The exact opposite actually occurs. Basically, what tends to happen is when we have some type of notes and we have to refer to them, it breaks our concentration and it makes it more difficult for us to memorize the stuff. And so what we do in the first few minutes of the Fearless Presentations class is we teach a very simple way to memorize your entire presentation from scratch like that. And in fact, it's a technique that's been around for thousands of years, by the way, and it's been 100% successful in helping people memorize their speeches. And it takes about 3 or 4 minutes to teach, and maybe an hour or so for you to master. But once you master that simple technique, you'll be in a very elite group of presenters, because only about maybe 1/10 of 1% of speakers out in the real world are actually able to give their presentations without notes. They're actually able to rely entirely on giving a presentation without having to rely on notes at all.